#1 in Western Washington. Coverage you can count on. This is King 5 News.
Here at home, some misplaced anger over those Colorado killings.
A local singing group is being bombarded with hate mail because of their name. Here's King 5's Eric Wilkinson.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone.
They're a group built on harmony.
A bright, bright, sunshiny day. Bop, bop.
For a decade, these four men have been trying to make it in the music business, and now they're finally getting national exposure, but for all the wrong reasons.
You know, you've never heard of the group, and your kid comes to you and says, hey, Mom, I want to go see the Trenchcoats perform tonight. Oh, what?
The Trenchcoats took their name 10 years ago, singing on the street at Seattle's Pike Place Market. They wore trench coats because they were often forced to sing in the rain. Then last week, the news magazine 2020 aired the group's website, Trenchcoats.com, as part of a story about the Trenchcoat Mafia. Since then, they've been inundated with hundreds of electronic hate mails, actually crashing the server.
Most of them have not been directed like, I'm going to kill you. It's more directed generally towards Trenchcoat Mafia, which we're not affiliated with again.
All for a group that actually played a benefit concert after the school shooting at Moses Lake.
That's the real irony in it, you know, because we have done hundreds and hundreds of schools. And trying to break down barriers, trying to break down cliques.
The situation's grown so out of control that some venues are now considering canceling Trenchcoats concerts.
We're trying to make it in this business. We want to make it, you know, and we want to make a difference, and we want to, and boy, now it's like there's so many questions.
And out of respect for the families in Colorado, the group has stopped wearing its trademark trench coats, and they're seriously considering a name change because of all the bad publicity. Meantime, later this week, officials in the Lake Stevens School District will discuss whether they are going to allow a concert by the Trenchcoats to go on as scheduled. I'm Eric Wilkinson, live in the newsroom.
Eric, this kind of mistake can be a black mark for a journalistic organization. Did 2020 ever issue a retraction?
They did. They issued a retraction and an apology. They said it was all just an accident, that the name of the Trenchcoats.com got on the screen, and they never meant to attribute or put the two groups together, the Trenchcoat Mafia and the Trenchcoats singing group. All just one big ugly accident, they say.
Okay, Eric Wilkinson reporting live. It seems computers and programs are changing.
With complete Northwest news coverage. This is Cairo 7 Eyewitness News at 6.
The mass murders in Colorado had a bizarre impact on a Seattle singing group, and all because of the coats they wear and the name they gave themselves more than 10 years ago. More from Cairo 7 Eyewitness News reporter Chris Lagueros.
Wouldn't it be nice to say that we...
These are the Trenchcoats, a group of a cappella singers who started singing on the streets of Seattle 10 years ago. Wore the coats partly to protect themselves from the rain.
We're happy people. We're shiny happy people.
Our music is really about harmony and, yeah, getting along.
Now they're wondering whether they can keep their coats and their name. After two kids in trench coats shot up a Colorado school last week, a network TV show reported the shooters had a website, then mistakenly typed out the web address for the singers.
We've gotten so many hits that it crashed our website.
Much of the email laced with profanities telling the Trenchcoats singers to burn in hell and to change their name.
I think it's just America crying out and looking for someone to actually blame and unfortunately, you know, it's coming towards us.
And it's affecting bookings. In Lake Stevens, town leaders will discuss Tuesday whether the Trenchcoats should play at the high school.
Now they've been getting calls and letters that maybe they should pull our show.
1, 2, 3.
It's so ironic, the singers say. Their music is always intended to promote harmony and education. It's supposed to be wholesome, upbeat. Just exactly the opposite of what we all witnessed in Colorado last week.
Little by little, you're back.
In Seattle, Chris Lagueros, Cairo 7 Eyewitness News.
Trenchcoats also say they've had a lot of support from their fans. What they'd like to do now is record one of their songs with a big record company, and they would donate all the profits to those hurt by the school shootings in Colorado.
Local troops are on the move tonight.
Northwest Morning News with May Coyle and Michael King.
Thank you, husband Michael. A Seattle a cappella group may drop its name to keep its good name. They're the Trenchcoats, but recently they've been mistakenly associated with the now infamous Trenchcoat Mafia and the shootings in Littleton, Colorado. Tonight, the Trenchcoats will speak and perform for the first time since the shootings at Columbine High. Good morning, guys. We've got Jamie Devaney here and Carrie Dalen. Carrie Dalen, Jamie.
That's right.
Carrie,
That's
Meg.
Right.
So I think it's fair to say that musicians often search for the spotlight, but not this spotlight, right, Carrie?
Absolutely not. Yeah, this is exactly the opposite of everything we're about. We're about harmony, we're about promoting, breaking down barriers between different cliques and different groups. And this is, obviously the Trenchcoat Mafia is the opposite of that.
Let's talk about what happened to the website now. 2020 and CNN both mistakenly identified or associated your music group with the Trenchcoat Mafia.
They accidentally put our website address as the website address for the Trenchcoat Mafia.
And how did that affect you?
Well, we got so many hits. It was inundated with hits, and it crashed our website. So that was, and we started getting hate mail and from people, we don't even know from all over the country, and it was pretty tough.
And now you have a disclaimer, part of which says we are not affiliated with a tragedy in Colorado. This is on your website.
Right.
This is the website for the musical group, the Trenchcoats, an a cappella singing group based out of Seattle. So probably a good idea to put that discllaimer up there.
Yeah, it's helped some. It's filtered out some.
But it's still happening to some degree?
Yeah, some people say, we see through your cover-up.
Oh, interesting. Like so, Carrie, how'd you come up with the name the Trenchcoats anyway?
Well, originally it was because we're here in the Northwest, it rains a fair bit, and so the Trenchcoats were just so that when we sang on the street corners and did our shows outside, that they would keep the elements off of us.
And so now you're renaming yourself, is that correct?
We're renaming ourselves. In fact, you're the first person to hear our new name.
All right, an exclusive. The Trenchcoats are now the
Coats.
Coats.
Yes.
Shorter,
so we're keeping part of our name. We're losing the trenches.
We're stepping out of the trenches.
We're stepping out of the trenches.
Now it can be a blazer, a jacket, it can raincoat.
The options are endless.
Endless. Doesn't have to be a trench coat, just whatever coat you want.
That's right.
All right, well, thanks, guys. And by the way, the Trenchcoats are performing, or not the Trenchcoats, the Coats.
The Coats.
The Coats.
That's all right. We'll
are holding a benefit concert tonight at 7:35 at the Lake Stevens Performing Arts Center at Lake Stevens High School. That's north of Seattle. So again, thanks, guys. And by the way, coming up at 7:50, hear and be wowed by a sampling of the musical stylings of the Coats.
That's
yes.
It's now 7:38. Once again, here's Michael.
Thanks, Meg. Still to come this morning, the other side of Sin City.
It is 5 minutes now before 8 o'clock. A live look at Bellevue, kind of dark out there, but we are about to light up your lives with the artists formerly known as the Trenchcoats, now the Coats. Guys,
hey.
Take it away.
Do you pull a Vegas microphone?
Little by little by little by little by little by little you're back. Little by little by little by little by little by little you're back. Baby, I want you back so bad. I miss holding you so close, way and then got you back. Baby, something went wrong, baby, our first time around. Give me one more chance, girl, I want you down. Come on, girl. You know I ain't asking for much, just a little conversation, a little bit of reminiscing. Hey, now what do you say? Talk about the good days, made it happen right away. But I got 1,000 ways to get to you. Girl, I wanna get to you. Little by little by little by little by little by little, you're back. All right. Little by little by little by little by little by little, you're back. Take a little bit. Baby, just think back on what we had. Get you back, get you back, get you back, get you just a tad. Baby, you're back. Get you back, 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 get you talk to you. So come on, girl. You know I ain't asking for much, just a little conversation, a little bit of reminiscing. Hey, now what do you say? Talk about the good days, men that have right away, but I got 1,000 ways to get to you.
All right.
Nice.
Very nice, you guys. guys. That was great.
We're awake now.
Yeah, I bet you are. It's kind of hard to do that. The concert, again, is at Lake Stevens High School. Starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Of course, you guys will be performing at 7:35 exactly. But again, the concert starts at 7 at Lake Stevens High School. Meantime, this is Northwest Cable News.
Northwest News 24 hours a day.
Number 1 in Western Washington. Coverage you can count on. This is King 5 News.
The high school shootings in Littleton, Colorado brought notoriety to a local singing group who wore trench coats, put on a local singing group, and that put them on the spot. Members of the popular a cappella group called the Trenchcoats started getting a flood of hate messages over the internet. King 5's Kathy Kiyomura joins us now. How are the group members countering the bad publicity, Kathy?
Well, Jean, today the group changed its name. They also issued an advisory on its webpage. It says, trenchcoats.com, we are not affiliated with the tragedy in Colorado. It is the finger-popping, foot-tapping, a cappella singing of the Trenchcoats. The popular Puget Sound-based group is rehearsing at Lake Stevens High before an evening concert. The Trenchcoats landed in the national spotlight in the wake of the shootings at Columbine High in Littleton, Colorado. The Trenchcoats started getting hate messages on their website. That's because the two Colorado shooting suspects were members of a loosely organized group called Trenchcoat Mafia.
They call themselves the Trenchcoat Mafia. People put in their search engine, they typed in Trenchcoats, and they came up with our website.
As soon as that happened, a lot of our shows that were booked and contracted all of a sudden became question marks.
On this day, group members announced a name change. From this day forward, they will be known simply as the Coats.
What we're trying to do today is trying to promote us and to salvage our name and what we're all about, and that is, love, harmony, acceptance.
The group's Lake Stevens concert is a benefit for Columbine High.
We are going to donate all the proceeds to the tragedy in Columbine High School.
Being able to continue doing what we love and promoting harmony and love, and that's what this show tonight is about.
The Coats, as they are now called, will perform tonight at 7 o'clock at the Lake Stevens Performing Arts Center. The group hopes tonight's performance will be a sellout. Reporting live, I'm Kathy Kiyomura.
A quick turnaround and well-deserved. Kathy, how did they come up with the name Trenchcoats in the first place?
Well, the group used to perform on street corners, and in the Puget Sound area it rained so much, they used to throw their trench coats on, and the name stuck for 10 years.
All right, Kathy Kiyomura in the newsroom. Thank you.
If you ride the ferry, you know how frustrating it can be to arrive.